Supriya, Shrinate, you respond to what you've just heard. The fact is, are you willing to give today Prime Minister Modi any credit, ma'am?
I would have given him credit had he really intentioned to give reservation to women and one-third reservation. What he has essentially done is a political gimmick for which he did not even need a special session of parliament, because according to the admission of India's Home Minister, this is not going to be the reality before 2029. And according to what some of their MPs and Ms. Smriti Irani said in parliament yesterday, it is not going to be a reality before 2039. Because they are linking it to Article 82 and 83(1) of the Constitution, which clearly states that delimitation of 2026 can happen only after the census after that, which means the census of 2031, which is going to take 2 years, 2 more years for the Delimitation Commission, which makes this whole exercise be pushed to 2039. So I would have lauded it had it been done with the right and an honest intention. I want to say 2 more things here, and those things are important. I think the fact that we are talking about OBC women getting their rightful due is an important line to discuss. And why are we doing that? Because this government has been sitting on the caste census data of 2011 for over 12 years now. It has been sitting on census exercise for over 2 years, not an inch has moved. And more than anything else, the Rohini Commission report that has come, which has actually said that almost 20 to 40% of OBCs have not got a single benefit, since the inception of reservations. I think these are the things that need to be spoken about. This is why we are insisting upon the government being answerable as far as the quota within quota is concerned. I want to make a very brief point and then leave it to the audience and you to carry it forward. Nadda ji is the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the ruling party in the country. And for him to use the language that he does, I want to remind him, you have zero. Your knowledge of history and economics and perhaps many other things can be adjusted on a post stamp, because you do not know that Charan Singh and H.D. Devagowda were OBC PMs much before Mr. Modi came to power. You want to mock opposition MPs? Go ahead and do that. But the reality is that half this country's population, women in this country, feel a carrot has been dangled for them, a carrot for which they will have to wait up until 2039. Okay. If this was not an election jumla, then please tell me what is.
Okay, Sanju Verma, direct question. If this is not an election jumla, what is what the opposition seems to be suggesting, or certainly a large section of it. Your response.
And, I need my time without being interrupted or heckled. I have this to say. I'll start with these famous lines. Nari tu maa asti. Nari tu maa asti. Nari tu kanya asti. Nari tu kanya asti. Nari tu bhagini asti. Nari tu bhagini asti. So, हमारे शास्त्रों में and in our Vedas, it has been said repeatedly, नारी तो माँ भी है, बहन भी है, बेटी भी है, नारी तो सब कुछ है. But we all know this, Rajdeep. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not fool ourselves. You're a seasoned journalist. I'm a highly educated and empowered woman. So are the other 2 women on this panel, cutting across political ideologies, what have you. For the longest time, women have been treated as, अरे ये तो बेचारी है, ये तो एक अबला नारी है, ये तो एक असहाय औरत है. We men need to protect her. And I'm so glad that JP Nadda said what he did today. In fact, I tweeted about it. And I said JP Nadda is the new goat. And the new goat for a reason. The reason being, when the BJP-led NDA yesterday, and I also give credit to the opposition because they've been stakeholders in this entire process. I'm not going to take away due credit from them. But let's be very honest. Politics में जो जीता वही सिकंदर. I repeat, जो जीता वही सिकंदर. Congress can come and cry and whine and sulk and say ये तो हमारा है, ये तो अपना है, हमें credit दो. TMC can say we have the only woman chief minister, credit हमको चाहिए. But let's not fool ourselves. If today the women reservation bill, which has been pending for the longest time, is coming to fruition, it is thanks to one and only Narendra Modi. Because as I always say, an idea is as good as its execution. You may have a great idea, you may build flaky castles in the air, but if you can't implement it on the ground, that idea is next to
Okay.
dead, as in zero.
Okay.
And let me, please, Rajdeep, just bear with me. You know,
30
this whole
seconds now.
narrative about BJP is not giving due credit to OBCs. For your audience, some of them may not have heard that iconic speech of Amit Shah yesterday or that equally brilliant speech of JP Nadda today. Let me educate your audience, though I'm sure they're very enlightened given that they are following Rajdeep Sardesai. 85 of our MPs are OBCs. As JP Nadda said, Congress के पूरे MP 52 हैं. अरे हमारे तो OBC MP 85 हैं. Point number 2, 36% of our entire cabinet of Narendra Modi-led government is of OBCs. 27% of all BJP MLAs are OBCs. 40% of all BJP MLCs are OBCs, and mind you, from J.P. Narayan to Ram Manohar Lohia, from Karpuri Thakur to K. Kamraj, from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee to P.V. Narasimha Rao, from Baba Saheb Bhim Rao Ambedkar to Babu Jagjeevan Ram. ऐसा कोई बचा नहीं जिसे कांग्रेस ने ठगा नहीं.
Okay.
Rajdeep, you're a seasoned journalist.
Ma'am,
Please,
I gave you your time. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you, ma'am. You had your time.
20 seconds more, Rajdeep. 20 seconds more. Please indulge me for 20 seconds.
Okay.
Very humbly. Tell me, how many OBCs were ministers under the erstwhile Congress dispensation from 2004 to 2014? As JP Nadda said, राहुल गांधी जी लीडर बनने के लिए लीडर पहले होना पड़ेगा. ट्यूटर होने से काम नहीं चलेगा. न अता, न पता,
Okay.
न सता.
Okay, let Supriya Shrinate, ma'am, Sanju Verma, the reason I have to sometimes interrupt you is because I have a fixed time limit. I have other stories to go to, but I will give Supriya Shrinate a chance because Sanju Verma has given data to show how the BJP has, and I don't think anyone can deny that, has a number of OBC representatives at the highest level, from union ministers to chief ministers to the prime minister to MPs. Supriya Shrinate, is the opposition on the wrong tack by trying to target the BJP on the OBC factor? You may be better off targeting them as to questioning the government. Why are they delaying the implementation of a bill? Why was there a need for a special session if the bill is not going to be implemented today but several years down the line? Is the OBC the wrong tack to take, ma'am?
I will come to OBCs in just a minute, but let me lay threadbare the real face of the BJP. In 1989, when Rajiv Gandhi ji brought the bill for women's reservation, you know who are the people who opposed it? Shri Lal Krishna Advani, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Shri Ram Jethmalani, and Shri Jaswant Singh. The leading luminaries were the ones who opposed women reservation in local bodies, a path-breaking reform that has resulted in 15 lakh elected women representatives across the country in our Panchayati Raj. So that's their duplicity. They should not be pointing fingers at others. Forget about anybody else. Forget about the fact that Jansangh brought the downfall of Karpuri Thakur. Forget about the fact that the BJP voted against the VP Singh government during the Mandal time. Forget about all of that. Listen to your own backward caste leader Uma Bharti when she says that the Prime Minister needs to hear the voice of the backward classes. The reality, Rajdeep, is that the Prime Minister wanted to create an event out of the new Parliament, which is why the special session. He wanted to blow the trumpet about women's reservation. But guess what? In the process of doing so, he's got a huge albatross around his neck, and that albatross is him running away from caste census. It's running away from OBC representation. It's running away from the fact that out of the 10 state governments that you have one OBC chief minister. We have got governments in 4 places, 3 OBC chief ministers, and the India Alliance has government in 11 places, 6 OBC chief ministers. Empower the OBCs that have been elected on your ticket.
I have a major story breaking in a minute. Just a minute, ma'am. I have a major story breaking in a minute because the Canadian Prime Minister is responding to the standoff. But I will give each of you exactly 30 seconds or actually 10 seconds to answer
she's
a simple...
already had
No,
two
I want a
rebuttals.
yes or no answer to each of you. Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, first thing. The easiest way for all of you to prove your credentials is to actually give 33% and more seats, tickets to women in the forthcoming elections. I want to ask you, can you give me a guarantee, Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, TMC will give 33% and more to women in the Lok Sabha election next year? Is that a guarantee you can give me on this show?
We have already fielded nearly 40% of women.
Will that happen next time also?
In 2014 and 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And in the Vidhan Sabha elections in 2021. And you never know, in the future it might reach 40% because Mamata Banerjee is all for empowering women.
Okay.
That's why I said we've already implemented what Honorable Prime Minister is now trying to implement.
Okay, you're
so
saying
we
you
are
walk
ahead
the
of
talk.
him. We are ahead of this bill and we would definitely do it.